talking about guarantee of the lenses, when we talk about the material, I like this question because the first choice when we talk about the patient, the first thing you have to talk about him, it's about material. It's about material because the intraocular lenses is something that we keep or should last with the eye for all the expected period of time for the patient. So if we are performing surgery in 60s or 70s, we're talking about 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So I like to talk about this point with my patients. So my choice about the lens, it's about the material. After that, we talk about optical design or whatever you want. But the first choice is about material. And unfortunately, this is a choice for the surgeon. There is no point about this. So it is something you have to know. So what is our point of the choice what lens to implant? The follow-up we have with the patients. We have maybe 2 or 3 materials we really relate on them. So I think that the band is one of them. This is a really good material. I think this is the strongest point when we talk about hydrophobic materials. The time it will last uncorrupted inside the eye. Because this is something we don't talk about in the Congress, but we know that hydrophilic materials are more in danger or have more probabilities that they have some kind of calcium integrity in the material with the pass of years. So I really like to implant hydrophobic materials. I think it's the best choice nowadays. I have to say my initial experience with the IOL was really good. I was surprised about the easygoing of the lens, the flexibility, how it expands inside the eye after implantation. Everything was nice for me during the first procedure. I was quite used to hydrophobic intraocular lenses. I have to say that I am a keen on of hydrophobic lenses, and this may be the best hydrophobic lenses I've never implanted. That also my first impression in the surgical room with the lenses was that the blue filter was really good. The lens has a yellow, more diminished yellow color than other, and probably this is the reason that some of the patients, my first patients, I have to say, have. They relate a surprise about the sharpness of the visual acuity. I have to point out about the sharpness of the visual acuity in near vision. Probably this is the strongest point, but about the biggest point of the lens was that probably this luminosity of the lens is the responsibility that some patients at the beginning express some disclaim about the halos they can see during night, more or less with the light at night. But I have to say that also these claims decrease after a couple of weeks with the patient. I think that I have to, if my memory is correct, I think I implanted more or less 15-20 patients, and I have a follow-up of 5 to 6 weeks. There is no complaint about near vision. I have to say the near vision, even the intermediate vision, it's really good with these patients. There are no complaints about this. They are really, really good. My experience with this lens is really short. Maybe in the future I have more information, but nowadays we're just beginning with these lenses. We have not enough number of patients with the focus curve and all these things. So I have to say that we're talking about feelings, just about feelings, not about thoughts. It's about feelings. This. For me, the luminosity was a surprise with this lens. I have to say it's a surprise, and also I have no complaints at all about near visual acuity. And probably, and this is just probably because we will know in the future. And I have to say that also, as other doctors know, at the beginning when you start with a new lens, you used to select the best patients for this lens, and it's something that after some implantations then you are implanted more and more patients, and maybe you are not so careful, so select about the kind of patient you implant this lens. Probably in the future we will have more problems, but I have to say that nowadays even the visual acuity, in spite of they have some kind of remnant refractive defect, when we're talking about half a diopter, the visual acuity is really good also. That's my feeling. This is an easy implantable lenses, so probably the size of the incision we used to do in other hydrophobic lenses, maybe in this case it's less demanding of the size of the incision. I used to implement the size of the incision when I'm implanting lens up to 24 diopters, and maybe in these cases it is not necessary. That's a good lens. The perception of the surgeon, it is a good piece of handcraft or of engineering, whatever you want to say. So the performance, the size of the rings, all the thing about the lens it's good, and this is just also a feeling. But we, as a surgeon, we like to implant nice things, and this is something that the lens has.